Let's travel back in time, over 1,400 years ago, to the deserts of the Arabian Peninsula. We're going to explore the story of one man, whose life would go on to change the entire course of human history. His name was Muhammad, and his story is really about being a guide, someone who brought a message of light into a society that was filled with injustice and, well, ignorance. So let's dive into this truly remarkable journey. So where does a story like this begin? Well, not with a prophet, actually. It begins with a young man whose character would define him long before any divine message ever came. This is the chapter of his youth. Right from the very beginning, his life was filled with hardship. He was born in Mecca in 570 AD, but his father had already passed away before he was even born. By the time he was 6, he lost his mother, and then, just 2 years later, his grandfather, who was his guardian, also passed away. Can you imagine? He was an orphan 3 times over before he was even 10 years old. But he wasn't left all alone. His uncle, a man named Abu Talib, took him in. And this is really where his world starts to expand. He starts joining these trade caravans, traveling to places like Syria, and he's not just learning about business, he's learning about people, about different cultures, and just how the world works. And through all this, his reputation for integrity it became legendary. We're not just talking about being honest. His character was so solid, so consistent, that the entire community of Mecca gave him a special title, Al-Amin. It means the trustworthy one. And this wasn't some name he inherited, it was a reputation he earned, day in and day out. Well, a reputation like that, people notice. And it definitely caught the attention of Khadijah, who was this incredibly respected and successful businesswoman in her own right. She kept hearing about this young man, Al-Amin, the trustworthy one.
So Khadijah hires him, she entrusts him with her business, and she sees his integrity firsthand. She was so impressed by his character that she actually proposed marriage to him. They married when he was 25, and this partnership was just pivotal. She would become not just his wife, but his biggest supporter, and, this is so important, the very first person to believe in his message.
All right, so that sets the stage. Now let's get into the moment that changes everything. We're moving into the next chapter, the beginning of his divine mission. You see, as he got older, he started looking at the society around him, and he was deeply troubled by what he saw. All the inequality, the idol worship that felt so empty, the oppression, it all weighed on him. So he started seeking solitude, retreating to a cave on Mount Hira, just outside Mecca, to meditate and just think about life's bigger questions.
And it was there, during one of those retreats, at the age of 40, that his life was changed forever. In that cave of Hira, he received the first divine revelation, brought to him by the angel Gabriel. This was it. This was the start of his prophethood.
His mission was now crystal clear. He had been chosen as a messenger. His task? To guide all of humanity by delivering this divine message. And the message itself, for that time and place, it was absolutely revolutionary. At its heart, it was simple. Worship one God and only one God. And that meant rejecting all the idol worship that was so central to Meccan life. And it also came with this powerful call to end social injustice and oppression. Now, you can probably guess, this message was a direct challenge to the powerful leaders of Mecca. And they did not take it well. They responded with fierce, relentless opposition. For years, the prophet and his small group of followers had to endure intense persecution. But through it all, he met their hostility with just incredible patience. All this pressure, this persecution, it's just building and building. And it all leads to the next major turning point in the story, a journey that wouldn't just save a community, but would actually create a new one. This event is known as the Hijrah. In the year 622 AD, following God's command, Muhammad and his followers left Mecca and migrated to the city of Medina to escape the persecution. This migration was so foundational that it marks year 1 of the Islamic calendar. I mean, just look at the contrast between their old life and their new one. It was like night and day. In Mecca, they were this persecuted, struggling minority. But in Medina, they finally had the chance to build a real society, one founded on brotherhood, community, and peaceful coexistence. It was a total game changer. So how did he do it? Well, he started building this new society on some really clear principles. He established a formal brotherhood that united all the Muslims. He created a framework for peaceful coexistence with all the other groups, including the Jewish tribes. And he laid the groundwork for a government that was all about justice and equality for every single person. All right, let's bring this story home. We're heading into the final chapter now, which brings everything full circle, right back to the city where it all began, and really solidifies his life's work. Fast forward 8 years from the Hijrah. The balance of power has completely shifted. In 630 AD, Muhammad returns to Mecca, but not as a fugitive. This time he's at the head of a huge community, and he enters the city victoriously. And this right here, this moment tells you so much about his character. He is face to face with the very people who had tortured him, exiled his followers, and fought against him for years. He could have sought revenge, but instead, what did he do? He offered a general amnesty. He forgave his worst enemies. Then, he entered the Kaaba, cleared out all 360 idols, and rededicated it to the worship of the one God. 2 years later, he delivered his final sermon, and it was really a powerful summary of his entire life's mission. He emphasized things like upholding human rights, protecting the rights of women, maintaining unity, and establishing justice for everybody. Shortly after that sermon, in the year 632 AD, he passed away at the age of 63. He left behind an incredible legacy as a teacher, a revolutionary social reformer, and a guide for all of humanity. And of course, that guidance didn't end with his life. His teachings about justice, compassion, and faith, they continue to inspire and shape the lives of millions and millions of people all over the world, even today. So I want to leave you with this question to think about. In our modern, complicated world, what lessons from this 1,400-year-old life, a life that was dedicated to truth, to justice, and to humanity, what are the lessons that resonate most powerfully for you today?